Hey guys, welcome back to a new Battlefield 6 video. There was a playtest on Friday, and to no one's surprise there are a ton of leaks again, especially since there was a new map played, so leaks are getting a bit more again because it's more interesting and more exciting. And one guy even shared a full 20-minute gameplay video in best quality here on YouTube, but that was unfortunately taken down already by EA, so it's not available anymore even if you look for it. But a few clips from this video can still be found on Reddit and on Twitter, so you have to look for this yourself, because as usual I won't be sharing any gameplay here in this video, because apparently EA is already or still very busy taking down as many leaks and gameplay videos as possible, so I don't want that for my video as well, of course. But we're gonna get into the details and see what we got and what was played in the new playtest. So first of all, there was a new map that is called Capstone, and here's a layout that someone has drawn from the leaked gameplay, so that's how far leakers are now to not get banned. And it seems to be a more linear map located on a mountainside in Tajikistan, so that was the map location that we got leaked before as well, Tajikistan, and this is the map that belongs to it. And it's definitely bigger and more open compared to the urban maps that we've seen before, but I think, at least from what I've seen from the gameplay, I think that it has the best atmosphere so far. It doesn't look as clean and static as the maps that we had in 2042. Actually, it reminds me a bit on Gulmud Railway from Battlefield 4, but with a bit more of a Bad Company or Bad Company 2 atmosphere. So really this dense and dirty and gritty look. And I've also seen some gameplay around the D flag, where there are a few houses, and here it also seems like the destruction plays a big role again, so you can again tear down complete buildings and use it to your advantage. The sound design also seems to be great. I can remember they wrote something in the leaked patch notes that we got that they improved the sound design, and I feel like especially the vehicle audio is good. So tanks, jets and helis seem to have an impactful sound, and I've seen some gameplay of a jet and heli flyby, and I would say it sounded pretty realistic and like you really want to get your head down because the heli or the jet is flying so low. But you can still hear the gunfire and explosions around you, so overall the sound design and sound mix seems to be a massive improvement to 2042, and I'd say it reminds me on Bad Company or Bad Company 2 that both also had a very good sound design. I'm not quite sure about the weapon sounds, to be honest. They seem to be better in former gameplay that we've seen or that got leaked. This time all the weapons sounded a bit like they were suppressed, but maybe they were in the clips that I saw. It was a bit hard to tell, to be honest, but I'm sure this is something they're still working on, so I wouldn't judge it too much. The movement looked a lot better in my opinion, looks a lot heavier and more realistic, so especially when carrying an LMG, for example. I've seen someone carrying an LMG and it looked really like he was actually carrying a heavy weapon, so not like really floaty and like you could jump around with the weapon. Playtesters also had access to weapon customization now, and even though we don't have any actual gameplay from this, there were some details and drawings shared. I know it's getting a bit ridiculous at this point, but I think this is necessary so the leakers are not getting banned from the playtests. But this is what the customization looks like, and it reminds me a bit on Delta Force with this large number of attachment slots around the weapon, and it is definitely a lot more than the 4 slots that we had in 2042. But Vanik has also given us some details to how the customization works. So apparently there are 100 points for each weapon setup that you can use up, and every attachment has a point value, so kind of like the pick 5 or pick 10 system that Call of Duty has, but extended to 100 points. And here you can see the different values for different attachments, but just to pick an example, a basic magazine is 5 points, and if you select a fast extended mag, for example, which probably gives you the highest ammo count as well, is 4 40 points. So you spend a lot of points on this one magazine, and then you probably have less points left for a grip or a suppressor or whatever. So it seems like you cannot simply stack up attachments as you wish, but instead you have to find a balance between their value and what you need. So pretty much like the Call of Duty system. Vanek also gave us some insight on the weapon stats that are shown when you customize your weapon. So there is damage value, rate of fire and magazine size, then control, precision, hipfire and mobility values. The firing mode is shown, the reload speed in seconds, the bullet velocity in meters per second, the aim down sights time in milliseconds, and the headshot multiplier. So everything you need, I guess, to set up your weapon seems to be right there. And something else that seems to be new apparently is in the death screen, because there is now a picture that is showing the exact body zone where you got damage. And it also shows how much damage you got with which weapon and which player killed you at the end with how much damage. So pretty similar to World War III actually, and I always thought this was really helpful over there to see how you actually got killed and which parts of the body actually got hit. According to the leaks, there was also a firing range accessible in the playtest, but here we also didn't get any gameplay. Only Vanek again stepped in and at least described the firing range with this post here. So he says the firing range looks a bit like the training facility from Live, Die, Repeat, or the Bat Cave with a white ceiling in The Dark Knight. So probably similar to what we've seen in other games already, like Delta Force or Call of Duty. I don't think that DICE is reinventing the wheel with the test range here. But of course, the new map also meant that we finally saw some air vehicle gameplay, and this also confirmed the leaks that were made by data miners before about the vehicles that will be available in the new Battlefield. So there was the F-16 spotted and the Gripen as jets, and the AH-64 attack heli and the Eurocopter Tiger as attack helicopters apparently. And for the vehicle spawns, it also looks like they went back to the Battlefield 4 system, where you have all of the vehicle symbols right next to your HQ symbol, so you don't need to open another menu to get to the vehicle spawn screen. One thing I spotted though that I'm a bit disappointed about is that it doesn't look like we have a runway for jets again, because in the gameplay I've seen the pilot spawned in the air with the jet after selecting it, so this doesn't seem to be in the game, but I would have loved to see it, to be honest. I would have loved to see the return of the runway. Anyways, that was it for today. There were all the leaks that I found so far and just what I spotted from the gameplay that I watched. Tell me in the comments below what you think about this and maybe your impressions if you've watched some of this gameplay, and I'm sure a lot of you did. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.